Hi, this is Ken Kaplan from the New England Motorcycle Museum, and I'm kind of bittersweet. I'm proud to be representing this extremely rare 1988 Suzuki GSX-R 1100 that's been in our collection on display here. Hopefully it goes to a good home. This bike's actually on loan by Superbike Universe. This is one of the prized possessions of the Superbike Universe collection. You can check them out online. It's been on display here for a while, and the owner, Pete Baccarosa, consigned this to us to sell. 15% of the sale proceeds are going to the New England Motorcycle Museum Restoration Fund. So you're not only preserving a pristine piece of moto history, you're also helping create the New England Motorcycle Museum. This bike is, to my knowledge, the only known 1988 GSX-R 1100 in existence that's bone stock original, right down to the tires. Pete is one of the foremost experts in the superbike world, and he knows, and we're the museum committee. I know of no other. This may be the sole surviving original stock 88 GSX-R 1100. I have the title right here to the motorcycle, clean title from the state of Kansas. This is the blue and white, obviously, version. Absolutely spectacular shape, and it is 100% original, even the tires and grips. We just went through a full, what I'll call a museum restoration on the bike, which does not affect any of the paint on the bike. It was just the carburetors and everything. I'll get into that in a second. The bike had been in sleep, slumber mode, museum display mode for a while, where the tank was fogged, the carbs were fogged, and the plugs were taken out, the cylinders were fogged, and it was parked on display at the Superbike University Museum. We wanted to resurrect the bike, get it running, to prove its worthiness, and that we did, and you saw in the video. And I'll go over everything that we did with the bike. The first thing we did is we checked the cylinder compression after putting a brand new battery in it. It checked out 170 PSI across the board, perfect. Put brand new spark plugs in it. They're NGK J9As. Check the spark, spark's 100% okay. And we installed a brand new Yuasa YV14L A2 battery and a battery tender lead, so you can leave it plugged in. The carburetors were removed, and all four carbs were completely separated, disassembled, cleaned in our ultrasonic cleaner by our AMA award-winning restoration experts here at the museum. This wasn't done by a high school kid. This was done by a 55-year-old tech who's built concourse AMA championship-winning restorations. So this bike was handled with the proper care. The carburetors were cleaned in the ultrasonic cleaner. We replaced the float valves in the seat, and replaced all the gaskets and the O-rings and set the float height. We disassembled the throttle housing to clean the throttle pipe and handlebar, and pressure lubed the cable and adjusted the free play. These are the original grips on the bike. We inspected and cleaned the original air filter. We drained the fuel tank and inspected. It's basically the fuel tank. The technician report here says it's in NOS brand new condition. It's like new. So they filled up the tank and tested the petcock operation, and that's 100% perfect. The petcock was obviously cleaned and lubricated and stored properly when the tank was fogged. They checked the engine oil level, warmed up the engine, synchronized the carbs, and set the mixture screws in the high idle speed. So the carbs were synchronized by a pro who knows how to do carbs. It's kind of a lost art. All these kids these days coming out of tech school are only used to the fuel injected by cell done by computer. This bike is 30 years old, okay? You're not gonna find a nicer example of the GSX-R 1100 anywhere. So don't kill yourself trying. If you're looking for a pristine original GSX-R, buy this one. So we checked the charging system output, 14.5 volt, that's perfect. Adjusted the tire pressures on the original tires. They're date coded 1987. We inspected the tires. They are in fact the original tires. Of course, they're 30 years old, so they're a little bit on the hard side. The tread looks mint on them, but indicating the super low miles of the bike. But I wouldn't really ride it on the street much more than for testing or parade use, because they are the original tires, and they're going to have a little bit of dry rot and a little bit of hardness to them because they're 30 years old. You know, frankly, I race bikes and I won't ride a bike if the tires are more than 3 months old. I put new tires on. I'm super picky about the tires on my race bikes. We then inspected the brake rotors and the pads and the calipers, and they're like new, indicating very low miles, and they're all original. We serviced all three hydraulic systems, the front brake, the clutch and the rear brake. We emptied and cleaned the master cylinder cups, and we flushed and bled the brake fluid. That's like the curse of DOT5 brake fluid. If you don't clean and flush it out, your brakes will go bad. That was all done, so you can see the brakes are in perfect condition. Then we confirmed the proper operation of all the lights and electrical functions, and everything was in good shape except for the turn signals. We removed all 4 turn signal lens and sockets, and there were a couple broken tabs on the sockets inside the blinkers. We repaired those. We removed the sprocket cover to inspect the neutral switch wire because the neutral lamp was staying on, and there was a pinched wire underneath the sprocket cover, so we unpinched the wire and routed it correctly and reinstalled the cover. There you have it. That's pretty much then the bike was given a full professional museum quality wash, wax, and detail by the pros at Kaplan Cycles. We do all the restoration for the museum bikes here. It was done with all the right chemicals and brand new terry cloths and everything up to par. This is a beautiful museum piece that you could take out, ride it cross country tomorrow if you wanted to with a new set of tires on it. Less than 3,000 miles. One owner, 3,933 miles. It's not a one owner bike, it's actually I think Pete was the second or third owner. What else can I tell you about the bike? This pretty much goes over all of the mechanical stuff. I'm going to read to you what Pete, the owner of the bike, had to say about it, just so you have a clue from Pete what his opinion was. The 1988 GSX-R 1100 was the last in the slab side series before the radical change to the slingshot. Suzuki made some subtle changes to the 88 bikes, which lasted only 1 year before the big change came. They changed from the cheesy early GSX-R wheels that were changed for these unique 18-inch 3 spokes front and rear. So that was one of the big changes in 1988 with the wheels. And the exhaust was also revamped for better flow. But that was about it. This particular bike is a unicorn. It is a one-owner bike that when Pete got it only had 2,300 miles in its lifetime from new. It is completely original down to the warning stickers. That's the warning stickers are normally taken off right away. It rolls on the original Michelin radial tires. It has an optional single seat cowl. This is an option. The seat cowl, I guess, didn't come standard with that. That was a factory option. And it's an absolutely flawless museum piece. The iconic blue-white livery is pure Suzuki badass. I believe this is the lowest mileage 88 GSX-R 1100 in existence. It is definitely an eye candy piece. So there you have it from the current owner, Pete Baccarosa. It was stored for 12 years in his museum. Pete's one of the largest private collectors, and he's an aficionado of superbikes. And he's also the world-renowned owner of Superbike Universe. He's an ex-pro superbike racer, lots of connections in the industry. This is one of his prized pieces. So before the bike was stored, it was drained of fuel. The cylinders, carbs, and the tank were all fogged with preservation oil before it was perfectly stored in the Superbike climate-controlled museum until August 12th, when Pete donated it to the New England Motorcycle Museum to be sold. And like I said, 85% or 15% of the revenues are going to the New England Motorcycle Museum, and Mr. Brockros is going to reinvest the 85% into his furthering and maintaining his massive collection of bikes. So we carefully and painstakingly awoke this bike from its decade of sleep. She roared to life easily within the capable hands of our restoration experts here. If you have any questions about this fantastic motorcycle, come see us, call us, email us, whatever you want to do. Want to have an independent mechanic look at it? Go ahead. We have a 100% feedback rating, selling primarily used motorcycles and parts on eBay, which is hard to do. So what we say is the truth about this motorcycle, and everything we know about it we've exposed to you, and we've thoroughly examined the bike top to bottom. So it's given our professional museum quality seal of approval. And God, I wish we had the money. I wish we had a donor that would support the museum, and we wouldn't have to sell off these beautiful bikes to bring it to the next level. But it is what it is. We've invested over $5 million in the museum construction, and we're at an impasse. We need another $300,000 to finish the big building. So we're going to get there. We're going to get it done. And if you buy this bike, there's no need to hurry up and get it out of here. If you want to leave it on display here, you're more than welcome to. If you want to leave it in the museum, but look at the paint on this thing. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is 30-year-old original factory paint. If you walk around the bike, you can see the original exhaust is in gorgeous condition. The rims are beautiful. The fairing is mint. Oh, there's one defect on the bike I wanted to show you. Pete told me, I asked him how this happened. He said he was putting it in and out of his trailer and it got a little scrape right here. That can be professionally repaired. We could have had it done here, but we don't want to just hide any. That's an original beauty mark on the original 30-year-old paint. The forks look beautiful. None of the coating on the forks is pitting. That's very common for the forks to get real gnarly looking from road rash. The original turn signals are perfectly straight. The fairing's perfectly straight. The original windscreen's beautiful. The mirrors are beautiful. The grips, the levers, the bike's never been dropped. There's no damage on the levers or the turn signals. It has the original factory reflectors on there. I mean, that's the stuff people took off these bikes. It's got the original factory steering dampener. Look at the gauges are like they just came out of the box. They're the concourse quality. Now let me just tell you something. We run a restoration shop here. You can't recreate this. You can't take a ratty GSX-R 1100 and once a cucumber becomes a pickle, that's it. You can't make an old bike this. You can't restore a rat to this. It'll never be what this bike is. This is an original, unmolested, last of its breed, last known to exist, 100% bone stock down to the tires, okay? So, if you have any questions about the bike, call us. If you want a great investment, great financial investment, and you don't even like bikes, buy this bike. It's going up in value every day. If you love super bikes, buy this bike. If you want the cleanest, most original GSX-R 1100 to known to exist, buy it. It's a one-shot deal, bud. This opportunity is not going to come by, so click buy it now before someone else does. Because I guarantee you, mark my words, we just sold one of Pete's 86 GSX-R 750s for $18,500. That was a beautiful bike, but it wasn't original. It didn't have the original blinkers and a couple other things. It was, there was like a few pieces that weren't original. But to find one with original tires like this, goodness gracious, how do you put a price on it? Because you can't replace it. It's really priceless. But there is a buy it now on it, so if you want it, step up to the plate, boys. Because once it's gone, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So good luck bidding on it. Call us at 860-454-7024. Come see it, come look at it, come ride it, whatever you want. We've got all high resolution photos. Download them, blow them up, look at it with a magnifying glass, whatever you want to do. This thing's gorgeous. So good luck bidding on the bike. And as Pete would say, God bless America.